1st.
Now, the news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Gary Liberatore. Meteorologist Eric Gage is in with a look at our Monday morning forecast. And Eric, as we look at downtown Utica, a little bit foggy, it seems. Right now, but he's getting it fixed as we speak. And as you look at downtown Utica, some low-lying clouds here on this Monday morning as we almost are hitting April 1st, which is tomorrow. And many folks probably glad that March has gone by because of the very cold weather. And hopefully we will be having this microphone come on any second right now. And we do have power up over in the Weather Center. Eric.
Yes, here I am, guys. Apologies for that. My microphone, I was putting it on, the batteries fell out. So, of course, this always happens. It's live TV. Good morning, everyone. Yes, we're taking a look at downtown Utica. Thanks, Gary. Welcome back, Gary, to the morning show.
Thank you.
Yes, this morning we've got some foggy conditions out there early today. And the temperature's actually not too bad. We're sitting in the 40s right now here in the Mohawk Valley, in the 60s as you head out into central New York and western New York as we speak early this morning. So it's a pretty mild start to your day today. And the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar showing that we've got some rain showers moving into the area. They're light and spotty in nature at this time, and although what we were tracking was the potential for some strong storms, we got some good news along that front. Severe weather risk has decreased with the data that just came in this morning, and we'll share more on that coming up in a few minutes. Still, the potential for storms are there, but of course, not looking to be nearly as intense as previously expected. And then following that, we've got some cooler, drier weather in store for us as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday. So today, again, it's a pretty mild one. Temperatures warming up into the 60s for our final day of March as we look ahead to April. It's going to be a little bit on the cooler side, but again, a lot more dry. We'll have a look at, of course, the latest details with the storms coming in today in that full forecast. Gary?
Eric, thanks. It came down to overtime for the Utica men's.
First and last stop for incredible customer service, sleep expertise, and unbeatable value. Watch Mattress Express on WKTV Plus Channel 2.3 and Spectrum Channel 1246. The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Welcome back to Sunrise on this Monday morning. Time now is 5:11, and as we look outside early today, first off on some area roadways right now, a little damp out there. In fact, pretty mild. We've got those temperatures already in the 50s as a massive low pressure system rolls over our area, and along with that low pressure there could be the potential for storms later on in the day today, but again, the potential for severe weather has dropped, but it's still non-zero, and I'll explain why coming up in a few minutes. But let's focus more on the traffic early this morning. As you can see here, lots of green across the board. No accidents to report as of early today. The radar picking up on a few passing rain showers here and there. Most of the area is rain-free, but we have an isolated shower that just passed through Rome, heading in between Utica and Boonville, potentially right along Route 12, so you might need your windshield wipers heading up there early today as that shower continues north and east. But again, this morning, a passing light rain shower, otherwise little to no impacts. This evening, dodging a storm or two. Most of that does stay, at least the strength of those storms stay to our south. Again, we're tracking the detailed look at those storms and the potential for how strong they get coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. The death toll following Friday's mass.
The Cooperstown Camera is brought to you by Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Utica. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, on this Monday. Hope everyone had a great weekend. The weather today is starting out pretty mild, but already damp across parts of the region. Downtown Utica live view right now. It looks damp out there as well. Low-lying clouds and patchy fog as well. Temperature sitting officially at 48 degrees early this morning, so it's a very warm start to the day. Other spots already in the 50s. As you head down, say, south and east and approaching near 60 out in the Syracuse-Rochester area. So the radar is picking up on a strong southwest wind, which is what's bringing in that warm temperature, along with some of these sporadic rain showers here and there. Now, as we zoom out on the radar and satellite, I want to focus on a region that is the highest potential for producing severe weather in the Northeast. And it's actually right here in, I would say, much of the mid-Atlantic coast heading down to, say, the D.C. area and Virginia. There's a very narrow sliver, and I'll show that in a second, of what will be potentially the primest conditions or the most prime conditions for severe weather. Now, if you were watching our forecast yesterday, there's a lot more yellow here, and the good news is it's much of that strength of this system has moved to the south. But I want to clarify there are several ingredients that go into severe weather. You need a lot of instability, warmth, and a lot of rotational winds in the atmosphere. Now, we are losing that instability, but we still have plenty of rotational energy in the atmosphere. So it means that we still could get a rotating storm or two, but it doesn't really have a lot of fuel to work on. Similar to conditions like what we saw, I believe, a week or so ago with a very quick spin up of a line of storms. But again, it's a very low potential, but that's why we're keeping our guard up for now. So the actual window is right here, in between this warm front and this cold front. It's a bit of a triangle. And between, say, 2 p.m. and 5 p.m., likelier is the time where that highest potential exists. Once that cold front rolls through, severe weather risk is pretty much all gone. So you can see here our Skycast showing very little activity storm-wise, which again is great news. I'm looking at other models. A bit difficult trying to formulate anything that looks like a significant storm in our area. So at least for now, we're passing along good news that at least we're not expecting a high probability of a severe storm today. But again, it's one of those days you don't let your guard down. We do have at the bottom of your screen the Storm Tracker 2 app, where if anything does turn severe, it'll send an alert right to your phone. It's super handy. We use it all the time. And I mean, I know it's advertising for our own app, but again, it's really useful, at least we use. So
That's for sure, especially during days like this.
Yes.
Eric, thanks. Well, the famous cherry blossom.
The news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric
Good
Gage.
morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And it's been a battle with my knee, but I'm finally back this morning, and hopefully I'm about to take the turn. I'm still in a lot of pain, still not sleeping well, but 3 o'clock this morning came quick.
Yeah, well, of course, we're happy to have you here again, Gary. It's a lot of fun in the mornings with the upbeat atmosphere that you bring to the show. So, and of course, I bet a lot of you are so excited to see you back as well. So, looking forward to
My
that.
older folks that I see around town, definitely.
We have a lot of fans, Gary. A look outside right now in downtown Utica. We've got some wispy clouds up in the at least low-lying clouds over the city right now, and pretty damp conditions as we speak. It's mostly cloudy. Temperatures in the 40s, in the 50s in parts of the southern valleys, and heading out to Rochester and Syracuse, we're looking at 60-degree start to the day already. So it looks like March is leaving like a lion today. The radar right now still showing some patches of rain here and there. Most of us, though, are looking rain-free early today. But what we are tracking today is the potential for a strong storm or two to roll through our area as this massive storm system across the entire U.S. continues to move its way east. The good news is here locally that severe weather potential has lowered, but still it's non-zero. We have the latest look on that coming up in a few minutes. And then, of course, following the weather today, we've got cooler, drier weather for Tuesday and for Wednesday. So today, warmer weather, temperatures in the 60s before we cool down tomorrow for the first day of April. And beyond that, what we can expect beyond today through the rest of the week in that full forecast. Gary?
Eric, thanks. President Trump making headlines.
Channel 2 is brought to you by Holland Farms Bakery and Deli. The Cooperstown Camera is brought to you by Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Utica.
Welcome back to Sunrise on this Monday morning. Our photo of the day today takes us to an unknown spot here in central New York. A location was not submitted along with it, but there's a photo of an eastern screech owl, and the text that was provided with it was what made this picture so unique. The submitter stated that they put out some fresh bird feed, and then after a few minutes, it was dead silent, and there were no chirps at all, and they wondered why. They stepped outside, and here was the owl here, and it looks a little scary, at least the look of the bird here, but still, great photo submitted to us here on our website, wktv.com/weather/pics. We have some spring flower photos as well, maybe even more animal photos to share with you as well. So if you have any nature scenes, any spring scenes, any scene in general you think could brighten someone's day, send it to wktv.com/weather/pics. The chance of your photo featured right here on News Channel 2 at Sunrise. Gary?
Thank you. The cleanup is underway and
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone. On this Monday, we are starting out relatively mild in the 40s and 50s already. Downtown Utica, a live view. It's a bit damp out there early today. It's been on and off rain pretty much throughout the entire weekend. Ice up to the north. And then today, there's potential for severe weather. So it's been quite the busy stretch of weather recently. Now, the temperature officially in Utica, or at least Rome, sitting at 48 degrees. With mostly cloudy skies, and the radar picking up on an isolated shower or two this morning. So these are sporadic, popping up here and there, light to moderate rainfall inside some of these. And as we zoom out on the bigger picture here, we've got this massive low pressure system moving across the entire U.S., and this system has produced plenty of severe weather out to the west. It's moving its way east, and gradients are present for severe weather to potentially form right along the mid-Atlantic coast, heading out to the Atlantic itself. But at least here locally, the concerns for severe weather are still present. However, the risks have decreased. The reasoning is that the overall setup of this system has passed to the south, at least the prime conditions. We're still not out of the woods, though, so this is not one of those days where you want to let your guard down entirely, but it's one of those days where the strongest storms stay to our south, but one or two stray ones, stronger ones, could move their way north again. And you can see the highest risks here. There's a lot of rotational energy in the atmosphere, but not a whole lot of instability, which is the key here. And we'll see how the instability plays out right now, but at least when it comes to weather for today, a strong storm or two possible as that front passes its way to the east. And the window of severe weather is actually right here. In between this warm front and this cold front, it's that triangle shape here. And usually inside this zone is where that highest risk potential is. A lot of rotational energy in the atmosphere. And there's a lot of energy in the atmosphere regardless. But once that cold front moves through, severe weather risk is all but gone. In fact, on the backside of the system, we could even see an isolated flurry overnight tonight. So today, a passing shower, maybe rumble of thunder late this morning, then quiet weather, temperatures climbing into the 60s, peaks of sunshine. If we do see sunshine, then the risk potential for the storms does increase. We'll keep a close eye on that. But again, we're trending very close. Our Skycast model here, not really that bullish on any strong storms, but it's one of those days where we're really cutting it close. So your 7-day forecast, a reminder to stay weather aware. Have that Storm Tracker 2 app that you can download right there in the bottom of your screen. It's helpful. It'll send you lightning alerts, any severe thunderstorm warning alerts, tornado warning alerts, direct to your phone as they happen. It's a very good tool to have in days like this. Of course, as we also enter the severe weather season, it's a good tool to have heading into the summertime.
That's for sure. Definitely useful, especially today.
Yes.
Eric, thanks. Well, President Trump telling NBC News 1st, 2025.
Now, the news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us on this Monday morning. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And it's been a long battle, but I'm back.
Welcome back, Gary. So happy to be here. And,
Yeah.
I can only imagine how difficult it is waking up early, not really having any sleep, because I know you said that's the
Yeah,
biggest,
knee replacement is not fun, but I'm on the mend and getting there. Thanks to the beautiful and wonderful folks over at Smart Fitness. Boy, they help you out not only physically, but mentally. This battle has been tough.
shout out to them as well. And this
Yes.
morning, I'm feeling a little tired too. I got to stay up and watch the Utica University game, and I do
Yeah.
want to give a shout out to the goalie,
Yeah.
the freshman goalie at UU. Phenomenal game
Throughout the whole game, yeah.
And phenomenal team effort there. They made it to the final game as well. A look at the current conditions out there right now in downtown Utica. It's a damp start to your day. Some partial clearing of clouds early this morning, and what you can expect today is a pretty mild one. We're starting out in the 50s and 40s early today, but notice out in western New York, approaching the 60s as we speak. So the radar right now, a sporadic shower or two here and there. Most of the area is dry. We zoom out, we're going to see a passing rain shower in the span of the next, I would say, hour and a half, 2 hours that'll roll through the region. And beyond that, what we are looking at throughout the day today is a risk for severe storms. Now that risk has decreased a little bit, but the potential is there, and it's something we're going to be keeping a close eye on throughout the day. We'll have team coverage throughout the day today, monitoring the radar and whatnot. But following today, though, cooler and drier weather moves in for your Tuesday. So today, high temperatures in the 60s with sporadic rain showers, and again, the potential for severe or just strong storms this evening. Most of that does stay south of central New York, but we're looking at the trends, the data, the reason why we're calling it an alert day coming up in just a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. It came down to overtime for the Utica men.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Welcome back to Sunrise on this Monday morning. Time now is 6:11, and early today, what we are tracking is some damp conditions out there. We've got an isolated shower or two. It's been overall an unsettled weekend, but today, cutting it close for storms. Early this morning, damp roadways, you might run into a isolated shower, but at least early this morning, most of us looking dry. Within the span of the next few hours, that will likely change as another round of rain moves in the mid-morning. Traffic tracker, lots of green, so good news along that front. No accidents to report in road conditions, pretty much all okay. It's a mild start today as well, with temperatures in the 40s and 50s. The radar, as I mentioned, a spotty rain shower to the one locally as of this point is actually in Lewis County, so almost all of our local area is dry as of this point, but to the south and west is where our next round of rain begins to arrive. So this morning, heading out to work, a passing rain shower, otherwise expect quiet conditions. But then by this evening, we're cutting it close for storms. Some of them could be on the stronger side. We'll break down the impacts, how close we are to it, and the latest trends with these storms coming up in just a few minutes. Gary?
It's the death toll following Friday's massive
Today, watch for the Storm Tracker 2 Commutecast and be ready for your drive to and from work. The Storm Tracker 2 Commutecast is brought to you by the Pratt Munson College of Art and Design. Visit Pratt Munson today and ignite curiosity and creativity.
Know before they go. The Storm Tracker 2 bus stop forecast.
The Cooperstown Camera is brought to you by Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Utica. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good Monday morning, everyone. We are starting out the day on the mild side already. Temperatures in the 50s, some spots out near Syracuse in the 60s. A great, or at least mild way to end the month of March. Downtown Utica, live view right now. Damp start to your day, some overnight rain showers tapering off. We've got some more rain arriving in at least an hour or so, but at least for now, mostly cloudy at Rome. Temperature officially sitting at 48 degrees. Radar, as I mentioned again, an isolated shower here and there, but most of us starting out the day early today on the dry side. But as we look to the bigger picture, radar and satellite, here's this round of rain that's going to be arriving heading into by the middle of this morning. But we also have a trailing cold front here, and in this atmospheric setup, there's potential for severe weather. This has caused severe weather, strong thunderstorms out in the Midwest, and this same system is pushing its way east. So now it's our turn to see this front. But the good news is the strength of this front has weakened since the latest data has come in this morning. Notice on this map here, we've got level 0 to level 5 risk of severe weather. We're at a level 1 in the green area. Yesterday, we were at level 2. So most of that, you can see the very fine line down there of yellow, has pushed to the south. A lot of those prime conditions for this front have moved outside of our area. But that doesn't rule out any severe weather, which is why, again, we've got to keep our guard up today for that severe weather potential. So what gives with this change in that forecast? You can see here, here's the surface analysis of the front moving in. In meteorology, we always look for what you can see here. Here's this warm front, here's this trailing cold front, there's this triangle right here. This is what we keep a close eye on. But again, a lot of that warmer air stays to the south, a lot of those prime conditions stayed well to our south. But with anything that forms today, there's a lot of rotational energy in the atmosphere, and that's what we have to keep a very close eye on throughout the day today. So on our Skycast, as you can see here, as well as a lot of other data, the models don't really show a whole lot of activity. Usually we'd see a lot of reds and yellows and potentially some lightning here and there, but this actually has that front passing to our south. So again, that's good news when it comes to any severe weather potential here locally. But still, it's something we have to keep a close eye on. And below me is the app. You can scan it with your phone, and it will take you to the App Store or the Google Play Store, whatever phone you have. And it will, it's a Storm Tracker 2 app, and it will send you alerts direct to your phone of any warnings, any lightning, nearby lightning, any heavy rain. It's very beneficial, not only if you're traveling, but also for those that work outside. I know we're entering the season of road work and whatnot, and any that work outside need to have a way to know if there's lightning nearby and whatnot. So
if you don't have
tool.
it,
yes,
get it. Eric, thanks. Well, the famous cherry blossom.
1st, 2025.
Now, the news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And as we end March, a lot of people glad it's saying bye-bye.
Yes, and I will say this, in this span from the 1st to 31st, we have gained an hour and a half of daylight, which I've been a big fan of. Yeah. It's getting brighter later on. We're getting earlier sunrise. In fact, the sun is about to peek out behind us in at least maybe another 15, 20 minutes or so. But a look outside right now in downtown Utica. You see that early morning twilight, a bright early morning twilight early today. And a look at the current temperatures. No, your eyes aren't fooled. We are looking at 40s in Rome, 50s Hamilton, 60s out in western and central New York as we speak in Syracuse and in Rochester. Now the radar right now, it's looking mainly quiet, a sporadic rain shower here and there. But as we zoom out, we've got the arrival of some steadier rain as we head into the mid-morning. So we're expecting a somewhat unsettled day today, but beyond that morning rainfall, there's potential for severe weather. The latest data this morning indicated that severe weather risk has decreased. Most of that risk has pushed south, but I do want to emphasize on days like today, even though the conditions are always variable, there are parts moving, a lot of ingredients that increase and decrease as we get more data. But on days like today, just remain weather aware. Severe storm potential is there for parts of our area. So again, today high temperatures will be in the 60s. We are tracking that cold front rolling through later on this evening. That will bring an end to any severe weather risk. So this is primarily focused just on today. We'll have a look at the latest details with the trend of that strength of the storms coming up in just a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. President Trump making headlines over the
Storm Tracker 2 team, where we track storms. The Cooperstown Camera is brought to you by Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Utica.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sunrise. Our photo of the day today takes us to an unknown location here in central New York. The location was not provided with it, but I wanted to show this photo that was taken or at least submitted to our website of an eastern screech owl, and it's mainly what was attached to it, the story behind it. The submitter stated that they put out bird seed, and then after a few minutes, they noticed all the chirping of the birds had ended. It was very quiet outside. They wondered why, and they looked outside, and sure enough, here was that eastern screech owl looking directly at them. So amazing story right there, an amazing photo sent in to our website. Again, if you would like to submit your own, we have a lot of spring photos this week we'd like to share already that has been submitted. Sent to WKTV.com/weather/pick. So again, a big thank you to the submissions. We, of course, have a lot more to show later on in the week. Gary?
Eric, thanks. The cleanup is underway and more.
York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, on this Monday. Time now 6:47, and early today it's rather mild. Downtown Utica, it's a live view right now. It's still a little damp out there. We had some overnight rain, but some of that rain has ended. We're seeing a glimpse of some early morning sun out in the distance. Temperature at 48 in Rome, but some other spots already climbing into the 50s, nearing the 60s. Now, the radar itself mainly quiet here locally. Some patches of light drizzle here and there. Our best shot for rain arrives in the mid-morning, as you can see here, the system arriving from the west. So today, what we are tracking is a massive low pressure system. This one dragged a cold front across the Midwest. Severe weather in this location here out in the central U.S. as well. But as the system pushes east, it's now our turn to at least experience some of the system. And the good news is a lot of that has weakened. The latest data coming in this morning for parts of our area. Yesterday, we were in the level 2 out of 5 risk, the yellow zone, which is pretty much all of the area here. Since then, that has lowered. We are now at a level 1 out of 5 risk in only parts of our area, primarily in Utica, Little Falls, and south. Northern Edda County and Herkimer County believed to be mainly outside of this risk zone, but still, we don't treat these as concrete lines. It's very variable in the atmosphere. But when it comes to risk today, there are still ingredients present, so it's always good to remain vigilant on days like today. Make sure, of course, you download that app below me. You can scan it with your phone. It takes you to the App Store or Google Play Store, where you can download the Storm Tracker 2 app. It sends you alerts for warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings, tornado warnings, and lightning and heavy rain alerts as well near your location. Great for those of you who work outside. But as you can see here, the cold front that moves through our area is trailing a warm front. And in meteorology, we look at this triangle here. And this is our focus point for severe weather. Now, most of this does stay to our south, but again, it's cutting it close. And if we're on the fringe of it, we'd rather play it cautious than to rule it out entirely. So today, a passing rain shower or two, temperatures climbing quickly into the upper 60s. Then you can see here, the model we have in our in-house model doesn't quite show a lot of strong storm activity, which is good news. The more weaker storms we see, the better. But still, again, that front rolls through, things quiet down, potentially a few passing flurries overnight into early tomorrow morning. So it's a pretty strong cold front moving through the region. But still, Again, today, there's potential for a storm or two the afternoon and evening. Make sure you're weather aware. Following that, 40s Tuesday and Wednesday, back into the 60s again for Thursday. So far, no major pattern shift in the near term. We're still just slowly wheezing our way out of winter time here. So
Yeah.
it's been quite a winter.
Yeah, a lot of folks glad March is ending. It was cold. What a cold month.
Cold and windy too,
Yeah.
very windy as well.
April, much better. Eric, thanks. Well, Tesla's DeFazio in for Eric this noon, and James, our alert day that we told folks about this morning, luckily has been canceled.
Yes, the severe threat has decreased. It hasn't completely disappeared. We are still tracking the chance for some severe weather, but the likelihood is not nearly what it was when we were looking earlier this morning or last night. Taking a look at the current Storm Tracker 2 Yorkville Battery Live radar, you can see we had a round of showers work through earlier this morning. We're in the bit of a warm sector right now, and this is the back edge of the cold front, and this is what we're going to be tracking and keeping an eye on over the next several hours. You can see that strong cold front splitting the state yet again, and another frontal boundary draped across New York State. We're in the warm sector right now, mid to upper 60s across central New York, but Buffalo, which is behind the front, all the way down into the mid-40s already. A very overcast sky across downtown Utica, and that is going to remain even between the showers today. We're expecting mostly cloudy skies. Any breaks in the sun would be brief. A big range in temperatures across central New York, low 50s across the northern portions of the viewing area, upper 60s all the way down in Shenango County. 61 degrees in Rome, a 9-mile-an-hour breeze, and that breeze is going to stay up. We're looking at a 10 to 15 mile per hour breeze to continue today. Temperatures plummet this afternoon. We go all the way from the upper 60s to tomorrow morning. We're all the way down into the lower 30s. It's a big drop in temperature. It's quite a strong cold front. We're going to have more information coming up on those thunderstorm potential and exactly when to expect what those gusty winds this afternoon. Back over to you.
Thank you. International rescue teams from several countries are now on the scene of that devastating earthquake.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist James DeFazio.
Good Monday afternoon. We're continuing to track a very strong cold front moving across New York State. Fortunately, the severe weather threat has decreased, but it's not completely zero either. Take a look at downtown Utica, where conditions are currently dry. We can see some breaks in the clouds, but because there are clouds, it's limited the instability allowed for the thunderstorms to strengthen today. These clouds are going to save us from widespread severe weather today. The severe weather risk has decreased with our newest data. However, still the potential for storms is there. We're still expecting a round of showers with gusty winds to pass through this afternoon, early evening. And then cooler, drier weather settles in for Tuesday and Wednesday behind the cold front. The updated severe weather risk. Marginal risk for Otsego County and points southeastward. Everywhere else to the north and to the west, we're just going to see general variety thunderstorms, maybe one isolated strong storm. We're going to continue to track this very diligently, but the threat has gone down. But if you're traveling south, be aware that you're going to run into a higher probability of that severe weather. Still 61 degrees and cloudy up in Rome, a 9-mile-an-hour breeze. It's going to stay breezy. 10 to 15 mile per hour winds are expected through the first 3-4 days of this work week. This is the back end of that cold front, and we're going to be tracking this as it approaches central New York. We're expecting that quick round of gusty winds with quick downpour with the passage of that cold front. Even without the severe weather, we're still going to see those brief gusty winds and that brief downpour. Big temperature disparity across New York State. We're in the warm sector currently in central New York. Back in western New York, things are much colder. We have a little bit of breaks of clouds, and this is what we're watching for the development for possible strengthening, is the fact that there is some sunshine in there. We are in the warm sector, but we don't stay there for very long. This cold front works through, brings much colder, much drier weather for the next 2 days. Highs on Tuesday and Wednesday only going to be in the low 40s. It's going to be rather sunny tomorrow, though. Those showers work through by the early evening hours, we're really concerned with the areas south and east of Utica. Once this front passes, we're going to be keeping an eye on areas Otsego County, Shenango County, the southern portions of the area. These continue to slide off to the north and to the east, and things really calm down. We're just looking at very cloudy but very cool weather, a big drop in temperature as we head into Tuesday morning. A look at your 7-day forecast. Weaker thunderstorms than originally expected to this afternoon, but still some gusty winds with some rain. Tonight, a huge drop in temperature. We go from the upper 60s to the low 30s. Highs tomorrow in the low 40s with plenty of sunshine. Cloudier Wednesday. Widespread rain returns Thursday, but at least it's with warmer temperatures. It's not like it was this weekend raining with very chilly temperatures.
Yeah, the good news, not as severe it was first thought.
Yes, for sure. We're not, as you'll see in the package coming up, the severe weather in the Midwest yesterday was insane.
That's for sure.
Yes.
James, thanks. Well, on this last day of March. And that was Gabe Gutierrez reporting. James DeFazio in for Eric today. And as we mentioned in the first half hour, luckily that alert day has been canceled. Not as severe as we first thought.
No, we're still tracking a very strong cold front. We still are going to see some gusty winds with the passage of the cold front and possibly some brief heavy downpours. However, the severe threat looks to be to the south into the east of Utica. We are going to be spared the absolute worst of the severe weather. We're not going to see what they saw in the Midwest yesterday. Your Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar back to the west over by Lake Ontario. This is the back edge of the cold front. This is what we're watching. As this leading edge, or I should say, as this back edge moves through, we're expecting a quick round of showers and gusty winds. We're in the warm sector right now. Temperatures are in the mid-60s, actually 70 degrees in Syracuse. Much colder weather to the west, and that is heading in our direction. Downtown Utica, some breaks of sun beginning to show up there, but those clouds are what has limited today's instability and allowed our thunderstorms to not get too strong, fortunately. Big disparity in temperature across central New York, low 50s across the North Country, upper 60s across the southern valleys. 61 degrees with cloudy skies up in Rome, still a 9-mile-an-hour breeze, and it's going to stay breezy through the week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 10 to 15-mile-per-hour winds this week. Big drop in temperature. We are in the upper 60s to near 70 in the mid-afternoon. We drop steadily throughout the evening. By tomorrow morning, we're into the low 30s across the areas. Some areas north and south of the Mohawk Valley may dip below freezing as well. Today, we're tracking those thunderstorms for the early evening hours, mid-afternoon to early evening. Highs are going to be in the mid-60s. Coming up, we'll break down just where exactly that severe threat is going to set up. Back over to you.
James, thanks. The FAA continues to look into
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist James DeFazio.
Good Monday afternoon. While our severe weather threat has drastically decreased, we're still tracking a very strong cold front that's going to bring showers and gusty winds. Take a look at downtown Utica. It's still currently dry downtown Utica. Showers haven't quite made their way into downtown Utica just yet this afternoon, but you can still see quite a cloud cover, or quite a cloud deck up there, and it's going to be a relatively mostly cloudy afternoon. A couple breaks of sun possible, but more cloudy than sunny. Severe weather risk has decreased thanks to the newest data and those clouds limiting the instability. Still, the potential for storms remains, and showers with gusty winds are likely this afternoon and early evening, and then cooler, drier weather settles in for Tuesday and Wednesday in the wake of the cold front. The severe weather threat really limited now to the extreme southeast portions of the viewing area. Otsego County, extreme southeast Herkimer County, Fulton and Montgomery counties. Outside of there, to the north and to the west, we're really not expecting more than just a downpour with a gusty wind. Nothing that would trigger severe criteria. 61 degrees and cloudy skies in Rome, 9-mile-an-hour breeze out of the west-northwest. You're going to stay breezy for this week, about 10 to 15-mile-per-hour winds each day this week. Your Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. We're monitoring these showers back to the west, which are right in front of the back edge of the cold front. We're going to continue to see showers work in from the south and develop throughout the afternoon and early evening. But again, the worst of which going to be off to the south and east. The severe weather threat is really going to be across the mid-Atlantic areas, areas in eastern Pennsylvania. We've dodged a big bullet. We're in the warm sector right now, but it doesn't last. That cold front really works through really quickly. Much colder weather settles in as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday. Highs tomorrow only in the low to mid 40s. Will be rather sunny though. As we head through this afternoon, again, we're going to be tracking those isolated showers with brief downpours and gusty winds. They're most likely to occur over the southeast portions of the viewing area. By the early evening hours, by about 7 p.m., things calm down, but we're all the way down into the mid-40s already. Temperatures plunge tonight. We go all the way from the mid-60s all the way down to the low 30s by tomorrow morning. But by Tuesday morning, widespread sunshine develops. It's a chilly day, but a very sunny day on Tuesday. Taking a look at your 7-day forecast, we're still tracking the chance for those strong thunderstorms this afternoon, but they're not going to be nearly as strong as we originally had thought. That cold front brings much cooler weather for the next 2 days. Widespread rain returns on Thursday with much warmer temperatures. We're into the upper 60s yet again by Thursday, and then we're back into a very spring-like pattern. No extreme cold, no extreme warmth.
Bring on April.
Yeah, exactly. I'm ready.
James, thanks. Well, luckily the freezing rain just didn't hit us on Sunday. Check this out right here. This is what it looked like in Vermont over the weekend. Slippery travel lingered throughout the afternoon on Sunday as residents also faced downed trees and thousands of power outages. Residents who have lived in that region of Vermont for decades say they had not seen an ice storm quite like this one. Well, Tesla drivers out in Seattle.
Meteorologist Bill Curtis, good news is the severe weather kind of drifted away from the area.
Yeah, this is all going to be to our south. The risk is pretty much over. We do have a few areas that'll see some gusty showers as we head into this evening, and it's mainly south of the Mohawk Valley. We've already seen that cold front move through a good portion of the area, but again, some showers still out there. These are not expected to be severe. The wind is going to be very noticeable here for the rest of the day, and a big drop in temperature is expected. We hit 70 degrees earlier today, but we're now at 52 degrees at Griffiths and Rome. That northwest wind sustained at 21 miles an hour. This is the third day this month that temperatures have gotten into the 70s. March will end up finishing in the top 10 warmest in recorded history. Colder weather settles in. It's going to be chilly tomorrow, but we will see some sunshine, so a pretty nice day. Brief warm up on Thursday, but in general, the weather is going to be cooler than average as we look ahead. Cloudy, cooler this evening. Again, some showers to the south. Temperatures will cool off into the 40s. We are tracking some chillier weather ahead. Look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. Denny's in Rome is now closed.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We are tracking cloudy, cooler weather working in for the northwest. A cold front just rolling through. About 2 hours ago, we were 70 degrees at Griffiths and Rome, and now we're down into the low 50s. This is a live look in downtown Utica. Skies are cloudy. Might look a little ominous out there, but there really isn't any strong weather taking place aside from gusty winds. We are not expecting any severe weather tonight. The ingredients just didn't come together locally and ended up being to our south, which again, not necessarily a bad thing. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar again. Showers happening south of our area, these south of the Mohawk Valley. These will be moving into the southern valleys over the next 1 to 2 hours. Again, a brief downpour is possible, followed by a drop in temperature. It's windy in the wake of this cold front. The winds are going to be sticking around. April is coming in like a lion, as it usually does. We're going to be talking about windy weather for the next couple of days. Things will start to become less windy as we look ahead to the weekend. Temperatures are falling across the area. We're in the 50s, Westernville 54, Otter Lake 49, 65 in Little Falls. Still pretty warm across the southern valleys for now. Unadilla 70, Oneonta 66, and Cooperstown with 68, Sherburne 70. But again, as that cold front sweeps through, we'll look for a big drop in the temperature over the next couple of hours. Bigger picture shows colder air, plenty of cloud cover working in from the west. These clouds will be sticking around tonight, but as high pressure builds in, we will see some thinning in the clouds for tomorrow. Cloudy skies tonight, windy conditions, overnight lows drop down into the low 30s. Tomorrow we start out with cloudy skies. We'll see some sunshine as we head into the afternoon. High temperatures will be near 40 degrees. It's going to be sunny, but the wind will be out there, so it is going to feel pretty chilly. Tomorrow night, temperatures will fall into the 20s, so a hard frost is expected. Wednesday morning, we're expecting clouds to return Wednesday afternoon as a weather system approaches from the west. We'll see a few showers here heading into Wednesday night. Most of Wednesday looks dry, but again, the end of it looks to turn unsettled with our next weather maker approaching from the west. Cloudy skies tonight, low temperature of 31 degrees. Clouds give way to sunshine tomorrow. A nice day, but chilly and windy with high of 40 degrees. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. It remains windy on Wednesday. Some showers will return very late in the day, a high of 43. Thursday is warm but also wet, a high temperature of 67. A cold front swings through. We're into the 50s on Friday. Some chillier weather expected over the weekend. Clouds, showers Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, it looks like the first part of April starting out a little bit colder than average. We're usually in the low to mid 50s. We'll be a few degrees below that.
All right, Bill, thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Rescuers are desperately reporting. Time now to get over to Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
So we're talking about snow stats today. Yeah, why on a 70-degree day? Well, it's really the lack of snow that we've had in March. We've only had 3 inches for the entire month, which is way below average. And in the March, as of temperature-wise, we ended up being the 10th warmest on record. So it's been an incredible turnaround after December, January, and February with some of the very heavy snow that we've seen and the colder temperatures. March, completely different, which is always a good thing to remember going forward. Never assume that the weather will never change. It always does in some way, shape, or form. And it looks like we're going to go in a different direction going into April. It looks like we're going to start out on a chilly note, and the overall weather pattern looks to be below average temperature-wise here throughout the next 1 to 2 weeks, although we do have a couple of warmer days sprinkled in. Looks like the warmest day this week, aside from today, will be Thursday with a high temperature of 67. We are tracking a few showers out there. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Those are mainly south. Temperatures will cool off this evening. If you're taking the dog out for a walk, it is looking much cooler this evening than it was earlier today. Tonight's featured dog, Emmy, from the town of Lee. This is brought to you by Nissan. We're tracking some cooler weather heading into tomorrow. Look at the forecast coming up. Kristen, back to you.
Jay Gatsby and Dave.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're tracking a cold front. It continues to march south and east. We had today as an alert day, but the conditions just never materialized. So any risks for severe weather is off the table. There's the chance for this to happen well to our south, but locally this is not going to be an issue. The cold front's already moved through more than half the area, and you can see it's only producing a few showers where it hasn't quite moved through yet. That would be across the southern valleys. Some rain showers in Cooperstown and Norwich, some gusty winds with this, but again, no severe weather tonight. Alert day called off. As we move ahead, we are now turning the corner into April, and we've had such a warm March. March, one of the warmest Marches on record. It's going to be in the top 10. We'll see exactly where in the top 10 after today. But with that in mind, when we look ahead to April, I just want to remind you, I'm going to be the voice of reason here, don't put everything away just yet. Don't put away all the winter gear, because we can still get snow in April, and climatologically, it's not uncommon to even have accumulating snow in April, even in the Mohawk Valley. So keep things around. I don't see anything significant in the short term, but the long-term pattern does look more favorable for cooler than average weather here. So we need a few more weeks before we're completely done with the snow season. Of course, anytime we do see snow this time of the year, it goes away really quickly, and it's really not a problem for long. The wind, well, it's still around. You know, the old saying, march in like a lion, out like a lamb. Well, it doesn't really apply to us. We tend to see the winds even into early April, even into the middle of April. It's going to stay windy here for the next several days, but it does get a little bit warmer as we look ahead. Yorkville, 57 degrees, Barneveld, 52, Cassville, 56. A lot cooler now compared to earlier. Fairfield, 57, Mohawk, 58. Still warm across the southern valleys. Geneva, 70, Westford, 67, and Worcester, at least for now, temperature of 69 degrees. This cold front continues to march to the east. Cooler, cloudy weather in its wake. Temperatures will fall into the 30s tonight with cloudy skies. Clouds to start out tomorrow morning will be followed by some sunshine. It's windy, it's cold, but the sun is out. Temperatures will be in the low 40s. We'll drop into the 20s tomorrow night. And Wednesday, it's mostly cloudy. The next weather system will be approaching from the west, and that will be arriving Wednesday night, bringing us some rain. Cloudy skies tonight, low temperature of 31. Tomorrow, decreasing clouds, lots of sunshine in the afternoon. It's breezy, it's chilly, but the sun is out. The high temperature 40. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Cloudy Wednesday 43. Rain on Thursday 67. So a warm day. Then it's cooling down. Friday's high 55. We're into the 40s on Saturday with rain. Upper 40s to low 50s. Sunday showers and pretty chilly weather here still for Monday. A high temperature of 44. We'll be right back.
At 6 with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
We're tracking a cold front moving through the region this evening. We had today as a Storm Tracker 2 alert day. That has been canceled because the conditions never materialized for any strong storms in our area. So we have no concerns this evening for any severe weather. This front continues to move to the south and east. We will have some gusty showers and some wind for areas like Cooperstown and Oneonta as this front continues to move east. But again, for most of us, it hasn't really produced much weather, aside from a pretty significant drop in temperature and, of course, wind. 47 degrees at Griffiths and Rome, a northwest wind at 18 miles an hour. We did hit 70 before this front came through. That's the third time this month we've hit 70, and we're going to crack the top 10 warmest Marches on record based on that. We've had a very warm stretch of weather here for the past couple of weeks. Colder weather settles in tonight. It's sunshine tomorrow, but it's also chilly. Temperatures are going to be much cooler. We do have a brief warm-up on Thursday before some colder weather returns. We'll be in the 40s this evening. Cloudy skies, cooler weather. Again, some showers continue to move out of our area. We are tracking some chilly weather for the short term. A look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. And
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. A big change in the weather today after coming off of a cool, cloudy, wet weekend. It started out like that today, but then the sun came out, temperatures really warmed up, felt like spring again, only to have the weather change. We're now seeing this cold front to our east. Skies have become cloudy and the temperatures dropped to 47. We did have today as a Storm Tracker 2 alert day, but again, the conditions did not come together for any strong storms. So we're happy about that. Things are looking much better going forward, at least cooler weather and relatively uneventful weather. This is a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Showers to the south and east. The winds will be hanging around for the next couple of days. I want to share this picture that I got over the weekend from Brian in New Hartford. The geese looking like they're ready to go after each other. But yeah, we're into that time of the year where we're getting ready for spring, but we're not quite there yet. It can be a little frustrating to get these tastes of spring like today, but going forward, it is back to some cooler weather. And the winds, they are going to be sticking around. It looks like April is going to start out like a lion. Gusty winds tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. Not strong enough to cause damage, but just the typical strong winds here, gusting about 30, 35 miles an hour. Cooler weather today, this evening I should say. Whitesboro 54 degrees, Forestport 47, Fairfield, Sandy 57, Skinnevis, Gary still checking in with 70. That report was about an hour ago. Again, cooler weather will be working in. Cloudy skies to our west. We will see some sunshine break out for tomorrow as high pressure builds in. It remains cloudy this evening, breezy. Temperatures will drop into the low 30s. We're tracking clouds for tomorrow morning, followed by sunshine. It's a nice day tomorrow with sunshine, but it's going to be pretty chilly, and that wind's going to be around. Temperatures will be near 40 degrees. We'll drop into the 20s tomorrow night, and Wednesday, mostly cloudy skies as our next weather system approaches from the west. High temperatures will climb into the 40s to near 50. Cloudy skies tonight, low temperature of 31 degrees. Tomorrow, decreasing clouds, a high of 40. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Again, it's still chilly on Wednesday. Thursday, we're up to 67. Widespread rain. Friday, sunshine 55. Cooler weather to follow as we head into the weekend with more rain chances on Saturday and Sunday. Temperatures in the 40s as we look ahead to Monday. So a little bit below average here heading into April. We're usually in the 50s by now. A couple of chilly days ahead.
All righty. Thank you, Bill. Still to come on News Channel Cast with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
We did it again.
We did it again. Great month of March for temperatures for us.
Yeah, we're going to be in the top 10 warmest on record.
That's impressive.
For coming off of January and February, the winter that we had, March just flipped the switch. And, you know, this is a good lesson for all of us as we're talking about the seasons. You never assume that the weather isn't going to change. Just because you've had a cold winter doesn't mean spring is going to take forever to get here. And just because we've had a warm March doesn't mean spring is going to come early. In fact, if anything, we're looking at the long-range weather patterns for early April, and it is looking a little bit colder than average. That's just the nature of weather. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Things are looking quiet out there. We tracked a cold front that came through earlier today. It's much colder out there now, a temperature of 41 degrees, and we are looking at some chilly weather for the next couple of days. Temperatures will be in the 40s tomorrow and Wednesday. We're up to 67 on Thursday before the weather starts to cool down again as we head into the weekend. It's cloudy tonight, low temperature of 31. Chilly tomorrow, but some sunshine. We've got to look at the forecast coming out. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. NASA astronauts who expected
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're taking a live look at downtown Utica. It is much cooler out there now compared to earlier. Temperature 41 degrees and falling. We hit 70 earlier today. It was a warm afternoon, but that cold front came through and it was a much different experience here this evening. A live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. The front is now moving to the east, and behind it, cold air, a wind, and that is how things are going to be for the next couple of days. Piece of good news. We've now reached that time of the year where the sun angle is now high enough for the body to naturally produce vitamin D. When the sun angle is really low, even being outside all day, your body doesn't produce enough vitamin D because the sun angle is too low. But now that we get into April, we are now not going to be seeing this. By the way, this line is called the 37th parallel. That distinguishes areas low in vitamin D production throughout the winter versus places that don't have to deal with that. You've got to go down to Texas, Florida, and the Southeast in order to completely get away from this issue. The weather in the short term does look sunny, so we should be able to enjoy some of that. Season snowfall total, quick check here. We haven't been talking about this very much because we haven't been getting snow. We've only picked up about 3 inches for the month of March, and it puts us to 103 inches to date. And we are likely not completely done with snow just yet. The long-range weather patterns has central New York colder than average, which means we'll get more days in the 40s as opposed to the 50s here, which is more typical this time of the year. April in like a lion. Yeah, we're dealing with the wind. It looks windy tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday, with less of a wind as we look ahead to Friday. Cold front continues to march to the east. Behind it, high pressure builds in. We still have a lot of cloud cover to get through tonight. Temperatures will drop down into the low 30s. We'll start out cloudy tomorrow morning. Temperatures in the low 30s, a gloomy start to the day, but dry air does work in, and that should help clear us out. Temperatures climb into the upper 30s to low 40s. Sunshine is expected throughout the majority of the afternoon. Clear skies tomorrow night. Overnight lows drop down into the 20s. Wednesday, the next weather system moves in, and it means cloud cover. We're dry during the day, but there's going to be a round of rain as we head into Wednesday night with highs in the low 40s. Cloudy tonight, low temperature of 31. Tomorrow, decreasing clouds, a generally pleasant afternoon, a high of 40. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Cloudy Wednesday, 43. Rain on Thursday, we're up to 67. Partly sunny skies Friday, 55. Rain returns over the weekend with high temperatures in the upper 40s to low 50s. We'll be right back.
Forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. So March was one of the warmest we've had, what, ever?
Top 10.
Top 10?
Yeah, top 10. you've got to go back to, I think it was 2009, before you've seen a warmer March. We hit 70 degrees for the third time this month. We did it today before that cold front rolled through. And it's just amazing. We've had such a cold stretch of weather over the winter from December, January, February. They were about 1 degree below average. March is going to end up being about 6 degrees above average. And it also goes to show you how things can just flip like a switch. And just because it's warm in March doesn't mean spring is going to be here early as well. This is just the nature of weather. That's just how it is. It's chaotic sometimes. And looking ahead, it does look like we are going to get into a colder than average pattern for the first part of April. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. All is quiet across the region. It's cooling off. Our temperature 38 degrees. That northwest wind at 20 miles an hour. It is windy out there tonight. The winds are going to be sticking around tomorrow. Temperatures will be in the 40s. We do warm up into the 60s again Thursday, but it's brief. We're back into the 50s and 40s as we head towards the weekend. Cloudy skies tonight, low temperature of 31. It remains windy overnight. We're tracking some nice weather tomorrow, along with some rain as we head into the middle and end of the week. A look at the forecast coming out. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. NASA astronauts.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We are taking a live look at downtown Utica. It's much cooler tonight. Temperature of 38 degrees. We hit 70 earlier this afternoon. Nice and warm, and it felt like spring for a little while. We won't be seeing temperatures this warm for at least a couple of days. We might make a run towards this on Thursday, although I think Thursday is going to be a little bit more unsettled than what we dealt with here tonight. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. We are tracking some rain that continues to move to the east out towards Albany. The weather tonight looks pretty quiet. We're going to dry out. I also wanted to mention we're in that time of the year where the sun is getting stronger, and so our bodies can start to produce vitamin D. That wasn't the case from November through March because the sun angle was so low. Now that we are into April, the sun is higher in the sky, and our bodies can naturally produce vitamin D again. So that does help once, of course, we see it. Now, we'll get some sunshine tomorrow, but it is going to be pretty chilly out there. The snow to date, 103.4 inches for the city of Utica. We have only seen about 3 inches in the month of March. We really haven't been talking much about season snow because we haven't been getting any. But even though we haven't been getting much in March, this is just a reminder that we can still get snow. I don't see anything significant in the extended outlook, but I am looking at the overall weather pattern heading into April. It looks colder than average, and this kind of weather pattern is notorious for producing snow showers at some point. We'll let you know when. Windy conditions will continue Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Yes, wind is around. April in like a lion. It's pretty common around here. The winds really don't start subsiding until the end of the month. Bigger picture, cold front now moving to the east. We'll get a chance to dry out tonight and tomorrow. Clouds will be lingering around tonight. Overnight lows will drop down into the low 30s. Tuesday, clouds in the morning give way to some sunshine in the afternoon. So we will see improving conditions. It's windy, it's cold, temperatures near 40 degrees. Clouds will be returning on Wednesday ahead of the next weather maker. That will be arriving Wednesday night. Highs on Wednesday in the low 40s. Cloudy tonight, low of 31. Tomorrow, decreasing clouds, temperature of 40. Should be a really nice afternoon, although chilly. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Windy on Wednesday, 43. Rain returns Thursday, but we are warm. We're up to 67. To the 50s Friday, a wet weekend ahead with temperatures in the 40s to low 50s.
That Thursday a washout or hit or miss showers?
Pretty close to a washout. I think maybe the morning will be dry enough to hit 67.
So get outside quick.
Yeah.
And then run inside. All right, thank you, Bill. Coming up next.